Hey everyone, and welcome to the Mark Prater podcast, where our aim is to connect our global family of Sovereign Grace churches with our executive director. Mark, we are recording this on a Saturday. Normally it's on a Thursday, but when we
Yep.
record, but it's Saturday because you just got back from the most recent leadership team retreat. And so, uh, people who check out the podcast will be aware that you do several times a year get away with the leadership team. You guys sacrifice of your time and resources in order to make that happen a few times a year. So remind us again, or perhaps if somebody isn't familiar with leadership team retreats, why do you guys have a leadership team retreat a few times a year?
Yeah, we do because actually we get together three times a year. That's how we've got it scheduled. Typically in February, June, and September is a kind of our retreat schedule rhythm. This year, actually, we were in Los Angeles because Dave
Nice.
Taylor is coming from Sydney, and we didn't want him to fly deeper into the States. But actually, after the retreat, Dave is now flew to and is now in Seoul, South Korea,
Mm.
and spend time with our church there, who's celebrating their 15th anniversary as a
Wow,
church.
wonderful.
And Dave's there for that celebration before he flies
Congratulations,
back
guys.
home.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, Lord's Grace Church in Seoul, South Korea, and the faithful Pastor Sungwon there, who's
Yes.
just done a wonderful job. So we did it in LA, and we do it three times a year, which I don't think is excessive. We talked about doing it just twice a year, but we found that we've needed three times a year for
Mm.
for these reasons. First of all, it just gives us a chance to be together. I mean, we're spread out geographically. The guys
Yeah.
that were there, not all the leadership team was there at this one. There were five of us, and that four plus me, and two of us are in the Philadelphia area. John Payne's in Austin, Jeff's in Louisville, Dave is obviously in Sydney, as I mentioned, and we do a lot over Zoom. But doing team ministry over Zoom, any team knows, is not ideal.
Yeah.
And so we pull together three times a year just to be together, first of all, and that allows us, secondly, to just have longer strategic conversations, which are harder to do over Zoom because you don't see everybody's body language. You're jumping in and interrupting one another. It's
Yeah.
just the joys of doing meetings over Zoom. And so we had really good conversation on this retreat. We typically do, and
Mm.
uh, it happened again this week, which we're so grateful for. And we're also, as I mentioned, we're a team. We work together. We want to build together as a team and build relationally, like any eldership does. And so being together three times a year is important in doing that. And I say all that, even though that's why we have retreats, because the primary reason we have them is because the leadership team exists to serve our churches and pastors,
Mm.
and that's always on our mind
Mm.
when I plan the agenda, when we're going through the agenda at the retreat. We take time to pray every morning. This week we did pray for the pastors and churches in Sovereign
Mm.
Grace as an expression of that. It's not only our heart to do so; it's a reminder of why we exist. So those are just some of the reasons that we do these leadership team retreats.
Excellent. Well, I think it certainly makes sense that it would be preferable to get together. I think some of us are still, even 5 years later, walking around with a little bit of flinching at Zoom meetings after 2020.
Yeah, that's right.
Even though we thank God for technology,
Oh, we do.
it
Yeah.
doesn't replace being together. And so you guys got together in Los Angeles, pretty sweet place to have a
Mhm.
retreat.
Yeah.
Uh, what did you do there over the course of the several days you were together?
I we have we had a full agenda. We got a
As
lot
usual.
done. Yep, and we didn't get through all the agenda
As
as
usual.
usual. Yeah, as well. And I devote a podcast to this because I one of the things we're committed to in our podcast, Ben, as you know, is to really give information that is not easily accessible, and
Right.
it's sort of the inside baseball information, if you can say it that way. So it's why we just want our podcast followers, which I think are mostly pastors and members of our churches, just to be up to speed on what the leadership team is thinking and working on. So
Yeah.
I actually began this retreat taking extensive time to encourage the guys on the leadership team.
Mm.
I just was coming off the executive committee retreat and just going through all the leadership team accomplishment, what these men accomplished, over the last year. And I thought, let me just take time to just I want to remind them of what they accomplished and what we accomplished as a team collectively in serving our churches. And it really gave me a chance to thank them for their
Great.
hard work. This is a team of men who work very hard to serve our pastors and our churches. And I wanted them to be encouraged and to know my appreciation. Jared presented a publishing plan for the next year
Oh,
that
nice.
we reviewed and approved, and very exciting. I won't jump into the details, but we have some exciting publications
Yes.
that are on the verge of being in your hands, and more that are in development that I think are really going to serve the pastors and churches of Sovereign Grace. Some of those you'll receive as gifts at the pastors conference. I'm not
Oh,
going to
nice.
reveal what those are, but just to build your
Mm.
anticipation for the conference. We also just talked about the future of Sovereign Grace departments, just as we think about the next, 20 years, for example. What will those departments look like? And I'm not going to
Mhm.
drop into the details of that, but we had to spend a lot of time on this retreat just thinking about our future and planning, and that just takes longer discussion and conversation. But it was very fruitful and very good. We also took time to plan our February leadership team retreat, where we invite our regional leaders and some of our other influential leaders, non-leadership team directors, for example, because that's a very important strategic retreat, and we want to hit the right topics.
Mm.
And so John presented a plan for that. We made some tweaks to it, and we came away thinking, oh, we like what we have now.
Nice.
So we spent some time doing that. As I mentioned, I was at the executive committee retreat. We devoted a podcast to that a few weeks ago. I just kind of gave the leadership team a debrief of that time, just because they don't as often interact with the executive committee as directly as I do.
Right.
It's important that you build that working relationship between the leadership team and the executive committee. And one of the things that I updated them on is I mentioned this in a previous podcast, but we're trying to find ways to build wisely as we expand globally.
Yes.
That's real important. And it's really important as we do it right now, early in some sort of expansion, it seems that God has given us. So, one expression of that is the Global Pastors College Certification Plan.
Mm.
That if
Right.
we want to encourage the establishment of theological training centers outside of the United States. If some of those want to be called a Sovereign Grace Pastors College, there's certain criteria that they have to meet.
Sure.
And the executive committee loved it. They affirmed the direction of it. And so we as a leadership team went over it again, approved it. I think we made a tweak or two, and that'll now become a part of Sovereign Grace policy
Mm.
that we will be able to reference. And I'm thinking about future leadership teams. That's something they can reference as they continue to build Sovereign Grace. We talked about that. We mapped out, because it's the September retreat, we mapped out the Council of Elders meeting, approved the
Yeah.
agenda,
Coming soon.
which, yeah, it's not that, it's actually only a couple of months away.
Yeah.
In fact, I think this week we hit the 60-day mark, and
Mm.
Council of Elder delegates will get some information for the Council of Elders. We planned the 2025 Pastors Conference a little bit more in detail, and we're excited about that conference. If
Hmm.
you haven't registered yet, please do. John
Yes.
Piper is obviously speaking, and
Yeah.
reminder of the pre-conference for pastors on
Mm.
Tuesday at from 3:30 to 5, and we're going to do a Q&A with Dr. Piper. Jeff will lead that. You won't want to miss that.
No.
It'll be really John Piper in his element, so to speak, outside the pulpit.
Can't wait.
And then we also plan the 2026 Pastors and Leaders Conference in more detail. And again, we've got some really good breakout sessions
Mm.
that we've already got established, and I can't wait for that conference and how the leaders of our churches will benefit from that. And then let's see, let me hit one other thing. We spent some time just talking about global missions, not in terms of Dave giving us an update, but just clarifying for everyone our belief about missionaries, and even how someone can
Yeah.
become a Sovereign Grace missionary. And
Great.
you'll hear more about that at the Council of Elders meeting. I'm going to give Dave some time in our Council of Elders agenda to talk about that. So those are just some of the things that we did on a leadership team retreat. It was rich relationally. It
Hmm.
was very productive. We got a lot done. I'm tired after this week, and I want to come home tired from those retreats. And I just thank God for how good He was to us, and I thank God that we get to serve the pastors and churches of Sovereign Grace, who we carry on our heart.
Wonderful. Well, we thank God for you, Mark, and the rest of the leadership team and the time and dedication and energy that you guys put into your roles on this team. I think anybody that checks out these podcasts and hears these kinds of updates can easily see that your heart is to serve us. And we can also see how you're effectively doing that as you're addressing a range of topics that are important to us, including free books at the conference,
Yeah, come on,
which
come on.
is only a couple months away. Looking forward to
Yep,
that. So
yep.
thank you, Mark, for the update. Thank you all for checking out the podcast. We'll see you here next week, Lord willing. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching. If you have questions or comments, Mark would love to hear from you. For more videos like this, hit subscribe on YouTube or by email at markkprater.com.